You were never meant to win. Let me say that again. You were not invited here to take the chips. You were invited to feed them. It looks fair, doesn't it? Buy low, sell high, read the news, follow the chart. But here's the part they don't print on the box. The house doesn't just own the building. They designed the floor. They painted the lines. They weighted the dice before you even picked them up. And if you think you're just learning to play, you're already on the menu. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain. Not to scare you, to show you the board. So you stop guessing. So you start seeing. Because once you know how the trick works, it stops being magic. It becomes math. Let's start simple. Imagine a lemonade stand. Your friend opens one. He needs cups, lemons, sugar, but he only has $5. So he asks you, "Hey, can I borrow 100? I'll pay you back. And I'll give you a little extra." That's all his stock is. Really, it's a promise. A little piece of a dream. You hand over cash. He hands you a ticket. If the stand does well, your ticket is worth more. If it rains all week, your ticket is worth less. Simple, right? That's how markets started. Real people, real money, real lemons. But somewhere along the way, the lemons got replaced with numbers. And the numbers got replaced with noise. Now, imagine you're not buying a piece of a stand. You're buying a piece of a rumor. You're not tracking sales. You're tracking feelings. This is where the game changes shape. When thousands of people want the same ticket, the price jumps. Not because the stand sold more lemonade, but because someone yelled, "It's going to jump." And when one person yells, 10 people run. When 10 people run, 100 people trip. Suddenly, you're not buying a business. You're buying momentum. You're buying the idea that someone else will pay more tomorrow. That's the first layer of the trick. The market stops being a store. It becomes a mirror. And mirrors don't show you reality. They show you yourself. But here's the thing about mirrors. Someone else owns the glass, and they can tilt it. Let's go deeper. How do they actually move the glass? Tool 1. Information speed. You get the news on your phone. It takes 3 seconds. A trading firm gets the news through a cable buried under the ocean. It takes 0 seconds. By the time you blink, they've already bought. By the time you swipe, they've already priced it in. You're not late to the party. You're watching the replay. Tool 2. The spread. Every time you buy, you pay a tiny toll. Every time you sell, you pay a tiny toll. It looks like nothing. Pennies. Dimes. Change in the couch. But when millions of people cross that bridge every day, the pennies build skyscrapers. Tool 3. The order queue. You click buy. Your request goes into a line. But some requests were golden badges. They don't wait in line. They walk through the door. Your price is a suggestion. Their price is a command. And in a room where speed is oxygen, suggestion always loses to command. So now you see it. The board isn't flat. It's sloped. The rules aren't broken. They're just written in a language you weren't taught. But here's the hardest part. None of this is illegal. It's just architecture. And architecture is only confusing until you learn where the walls are. So you decide to play anyway. You open the app. You deposit your first 100. You feel that little spark. The what if? You watch a video. You read a headline. You see a green arrow going up. You press the button. And for a moment, it works. The number goes up. You feel smart. You feel chosen. You think, maybe this is my thing. That feeling isn't luck. It's bait. Let's talk about the bait. It's called the beginner boost. When you're new, the system doesn't fight you. It feeds you. Small wins. Quick jumps. Tiny game days. It trains your brain. It builds the habit. It makes the game feel friendly. But habits are expensive. And friendly games don't pay for marble floors. Now you're ready for the real trap. It's called the volatility loop. Here's how it looks. You buy a ticket. It drops 10%. You panic. You sell. It bounces back 15%. You regret it. You buy again. It drops again. You wait. It rises. You wait longer. It crashes. You give up. Every move feels like a mistake. Every pause feels like a loss. You start checking the screen before breakfast. during lunch, after dinner, before bed. The screen isn't showing you money, it's showing you stress. And stress makes you cheap, because when you're tired, you don't think. You react. And reactions are predictable. Predictable is profitable. For them. Now enter the lever. That's the word they use for borrowed money. But let's call it what it is. A magnifier. With a lever, a 5% win becomes 20. Sounds amazing. But motion without brakes isn't driving. It's falling with style. Then comes the flash. The sudden drop. The screen freezes. You tap. Nothing. That's liquidity drying up. Buyers vanish. The safety net folds. You're left holding a ticket in an empty room. You start asking questions. Who did this? Why didn't I know? Is the system rigged? The answer isn't yes or no. The answer is designed. You don't blame the app. You blame your own rhythm. Let's talk about the influencers. The gurus. The guys in rented cars pointing at screens. They don't sell strategies. They sell hope. You watch one. You try their method. It works once. You trust it. You size up. It fails. You wonder what you did wrong. You did nothing wrong. You just bought a map to a city that keeps moving. Hope is the most expensive product on earth. The conflict isn't that they hide the rules. It's that they flood you with options. 10 indicators. 12 timeframes, 50 strategies, analysis paralysis. You freeze. You guess. You lose. Simplicity is boring. Complexity sells. But complexity only confuses the player who's already tired. And tired players don't make mistakes. They make donations. So you sit there, screen glowing, account shrinking, confidence cracked. You think about quitting. You think about starting over. You think about walking away. That's the moment. That's the exact second the game either breaks you or teaches you. You don't win by outsmarting the machine. You win by stepping out of its rhythm. The turning point isn't a secret indicator. It's a shift in posture. You stop reacting. You start observing. You stop chasing. You start waiting. The first thing they never tell you? Doing nothing is a position. And sometimes it's the only one that pays. Let's talk about time frames. The app shows you seconds. The market runs on years. When you zoom out, the noise disappears. Here's the pivot. You stop asking, where is it going next? You start asking, what is it actually doing? Price isn't a prediction. It's a receipt. It's what people already did, not what they might do. And receipts don't lie, but they don't promise either. They just record. Once you stop treating the market like a crystal ball, it stops treating you like a target. Now comes the hardest part, position sizing, which is a fancy way of saying, don't bet the farm. You don't need home runs. You need survival. Survival buys time. Time buys clarity. Clarity buys results. But your brain wants drama. It wants big wins. It wants to feel like a hero. So you size up. You ignore the rule. You cross the line. Discipline isn't exciting. Discipline is quiet. But quiet is how you outlast loud. Let's talk about stop losses, which are really just seatbelts. You don't wear them because you plan to crash. You wear them because roads are unpredictable. A stop loss isn't failure. It's a boundary. And boundaries protect beginners from their own optimism. Optimism is beautiful in life. It's expensive in trading. So you build a system. Not a complicated one. A boring one. Entry rules. Exit rules. Risk rules. You write them down. You follow them. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. The market will test your rules. It will spike above your line. It will dip below it. It will shake you. It will whisper. It will dare you to break your own promise. And that's the climax. Not a huge win. Not a dramatic crash. Just a quiet moment where you choose yourself over the screen. So let's wrap this. Wall Street didn't design the market to break you. They designed it to keep you playing. Every fee, every spread, every alert, every headline, every guru, every dip, every pump. It's all fuel for the engine. And your attention is the gasoline. Take your keys back. You don't need more indicators. You need fewer impulses. You don't need faster news. You need slower reactions. You don't need to predict the storm. You need to build a better roof. Start small. Protect your capital. Write your rules. Follow your rules. Step away when it gets loud. Step in when it gets quiet. Track everything. Review everything. Learn from everything. The market isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It just teaches in hard lessons. So take notes. Take breaks. Take the long road. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe. Not because I need numbers. Because you deserve a calm corner of the internet. A place that doesn't sell you panic. A place that shows you the board. Comment calm below if you're done chasing noise. I read every single one. Share this with someone who's tired of guessing. Save it for when the screen gets too loud. You were never meant to win their game. So stop playing it. Build yours. Keep it simple. Keep it slow. Keep it yours. See you in the next one. Stay patient. Stay sharp. And remember, the board is just wood. You hold the pen.